Feeling unsure in my relationship. I've been with my girl for 2 months, and today I saw something that made me rethink our relationship. We're both in our early 20s, I'm a couple years older. I've never been in a relationship, while she's been in a couple, and she says all of her exes are horrible, which had me a little worried off rip. From the first date, we seemed to hit it off real well, and we hooked up the next day. She told me she wasn't into hookups, and is only looking for a relationship. She definitely wanted to move into a relationship ASAP, and when we did a month later, she told me she loved me maybe a week after we got into it. She slept over at my house last night for the first time. This morning, we were snapping each other while she was in the bathroom just joking around. She comes out, she sits and we talk for a little, and she goes, "Oh, I just got a snap from you," even though I know she'd already opened mine. It says it's the same name as mine. I asked her how she knew someone with the same name as me. I have a pretty rare name, I haven't met many people with my same name, and she previously said I'm the first person she's met with my name. She says she used to randomly add people on Snap from the recommended, which is weird. I drop it for a bit, but then ask her when was she adding people like that, and she said freshman year of high school, which is a real long time ago. I told her it's a wild coincidence that after all these years, this person with the same name as me decides to hit you up for the first time. She could have easily just changed the name so that it would look like she has a snap from me she didn't open yet. She kept telling me that it really is a coincidence, that she's not even smart enough to think of that, that I'm the only one, and she loves me and she would never do me like that. She offered to let me go through her phone, but I already saw her scrolling through her phone while I was confronting her about it, and I didn't see what she was doing since I was laying down BC. I was feeling like it just found out I got a fever, so I felt it was pointless and I would just look stupid. Later she randomly showed me what she had in her hidden folder, which was just photos of her, but it seemed sort of weird to just bring that up out of nowhere, especially when she never did that before. There was another incident when she was posting something to her story in front of me, and she was trying to repost my story but couldn't figure it out, so I went to take her phone to help her, but she immediately said, "Oh, never mind, but I got the phone, didn't know how to do it and passed it back." Later, I grabbed her phone jokingly and saw she was hitting some dude up recently, but I looked through it and the only recent conversation was about a baseball game she went to, and then before that was before we were in a relationship. Obviously I didn't find anything, but that little action of her not wanting me to have her phone made me feel a little weird. There are other little things, like her always have a shitload of unread texts, always having all her apps closed, etc. Those things I can ignore, even if they make me feel insecure, but the snap thing really got me feeling like something's up. I really don't know if I'm being insecure or if she's really up to something. I have her added on Find My Friends, so I can see where she's at whenever she brought up the idea, not me. Now I'm glad she did, but she could have just done that to keep check on me, and I haven't seen anything out of the ordinary, but she can always just bring someone to her house. Apparently her parents are a little strict, so that might be out the window too, but what if she's saying the dude she's bring over is me, and I'm just here for emotional support? Might have to update this thread with other stuff later since my fever brain just can't work iron, but I just want to hear another opinion from some people. I've seen the videos of people getting caught cheating when everything seems sweet, so even before I got into a relationship I was always scared of it, but now that I'm seeing stuff that can actually be cheating, it's making me lose my mind. I plan on keeping it cool and then just asking to see her phone out of nowhere, but I worry that she'll already have that feeling that I might be sussed out and she'll keep her phone clean in case I do, leading me to look crazy insecure. Update. I got her Snapchat metadata from her willingly, which she isn't very happy about. The only person on her friends list that matches my name has supposedly been deleted, which I can see, along with a lot of other dudes guessing by the names, but it still isn't adding up. She said this was about 6 years ago, but it says he was added 2 years ago. He also wasn't added through suggestions, she added him herself. I'll try to foot her later to see what's up with that. Redditor's reactions, story 2 after. Redditor 1, trust your gut and move on. If you are having trust issues, though early in the relationship, it will not get better. Do not make any long-term commitments and do not move in with her. Redditor 2, always listen to your gut, pal, she's gaslighting you big time and is up to no good. Jump out before you learn the hard way and it's too late. I'm sure if you dug deep enough you will not like what you find. Don't get played, but I fear you may have already been. Redditor 3, you are the only one with that name I've met. So why are there 2 people on your phone with that name then? You are not the only one with that name. To be then followed by, haha look, this is the only thing that I have hidden on my phone and it's just a bunch of selfies. To then also be followed by, oh God. Please give my phone back. I swear there's nothing else to find on there. Regardless of whatever you like about her, if these things are coming up only 2 months in, then you're in for a hell of a treat once you actually start to see her real personality. At the best she's really secretive about something completely innocent that a previous boyfriend hated, and so she tried to trick you into being satisfied and calling off a search that you hadn't even started. At worst, however, most of her contacts have the same kind of accesses to her as you do. Tread mighty carefully. Story 2, girlfriend of 6 years demanding marriage with ultimatum, but I'm just not feeling it. Sorry for the throwaway, but don't want her seeing this and making things worse than they currently are. My girlfriend over the past few years has been brining up the marriage thing pretty regularly. I even went as far as getting an engagement ring and planned to propose on a group vacation 2 years ago. She made that trip miserable with her attitude, and just paranoia about everyone else on the trip. It was not a good time. So she is now on some medication to help her mood swings, which has helped. She in the past few months has been riding the marriage horse pretty hard again. I have a lot going on in my life, and I devote as much time to her and her son as I can. My number one problem is I am a neat and organized person. I like things to be presentable and clean at all times. Her and her son are not so interested in keeping a clean house or keeping up chores. Her son has gotten better, but she just doesn't keep a neat home. I try to manage everything, but it's not possible to keep up the home of 3 with all my other responsibilities. I have explained this repeatedly, that I don't like how we live and that the house is always a mess. Any time that I find myself with time off with work, I spend the entire time trying to get the house in order, only to have it back to the same state in a few days after I go back to work. This has been a vicious cycle for years with her. She does state, "Oh, I know the house is bothering you, I plan on cleaning it up." But it never happens. Another example is I recently shaved my beard off because it was getting warmer and I was tired of it. I went through 5 cans of shaving cream in the shower to find one that had any in it. There's empty shampoo bottles and everything, which I've asked her to clean up when they are empty, but this just really set me off. She keeps asking me what's wrong, and I try really hard to explain because she will pull the "you don't care about me and I'm a big disappointment" card. Maybe I just need to suck it up and nut up. I care for her and her son and treat him as if he were my own flesh and blood. He's a good kid, but I am just tired of living like disgusting people in my own home. When they moved in, my house was always clean and neat. She would often say, "Wow, this place is white glove approved." I want to live that way but have not had that in 6+ years. What do you suggest that I do, or what ideas do you have for me? I know that it's a rambling, just need to vent and get the frustration out. Thank you in advance. Update: I 38M want to end my engagement to my fiancé 36F. I want to end my 7+ year relationship with my fiancé. I am concerned that she's going to spiral off the deep end, but I cannot continue to emotionally and physically handle her anymore. I'm a very busy person with my career and rentals and a farm that I manage. I've asked her to be responsible for our home. That's it. I handle everything else. The bills and maintenance and everything else. My home is a disaster and I get nothing but negative comments about my family and my decisions. Our S-time life is unfulfilling, as earlier this week we were doing the deed. I had taken care of her needs, making sure that she got off 3 times. Before I could even finish, she rolled over and immediately started scrolling Facebook. I just stood there shocked for a few seconds, then went to go clean myself up. I don't know if she thought I had gotten off or what the deal was, but she just checked out. She's super critical of everything I do and goes through my mail, then questions what some of the things are. When my grandmother passed away, I continued to pay for the life insurance of my much younger siblings. It's $20 a month. She went into orbit about why is it my responsibility and blah blah blah. I do things for my family because I'm fairly successful and situated in my life. My family, however, struggles with the usual things. I even took my entire family out to dinner a few weeks ago with my fiancé included, and she did nothing to complain on the way home, as it wasn't fair that I paid. I explained that I did it because it makes me happy. It wasn't going to keep her from not having bills paid, or a roof over her head, or even not having a meal later on. It wasn't going to interfere with her life whatsoever, so what is she getting from complaining to me about my family? This morning was the last draw, however. I work at home and my day usually starts at 7 a.m. She informed me yesterday that she needed a ride to pick up her car finally from service. She's been driving my other vehicle really without even asking for months. I told her I'd see what I could do, but I had work. At 9 a.m. she starts huffing and throwing a fit because I wasn't ready to go get her vehicle. I was in a call with a co-worker and was sorting through some issues. Once done, I got told that we were already late, and that it was going to make her late for the rest of her day. I explained that I have to work and support my team, as I am the go-to person for many things in my company when issues arise. She just continued to berate me. I do not wish to continue my life doing this and dealing with this type of situation. What is going to be the softest way to break the news to her? I don't wish to be mean or harsh, but just explain that I don't see this working out and I don't plan on following through with our October wedding. Thanks in advance. Story 2, update: I 38M want to end my engagement to my fiancé 36F. So many people were interested from my last post. So I 38 meters returned home today after a weekend to myself. I sat down to a meal actually prepared by my now ex-fiancé 36F for the first time I can remember in months. We ate dinner and then I started to talk to her. I expressed that I personally have a lot of trouble trying to convey my feelings to my partner. That it's on me because I just internalize my feelings with my partner. All other aspects of my life I have no trouble expressing my concerns or telling things how they are. Not sure why I struggle with the opposite S time in my relationships. She made the statement as I was trying to explain that sometimes the truth hurts, but it has to be said. I used that as my springboard and laid everything out and explained that I don't see a wedding in our future and that I wish to end the relationship. We talked for about 20 to 30 minutes and then her parents showed up. They made sure that my demand that she not stay in the house was understood. She was very apologetic and expressed remorse for everything that had gone on. She had cleaned a small section of the kitchen, which was nice, and she asked if that made me feel better. I explained that this is what I needed, but I needed to see it years ago, not just today. We talked through everything and she left without much of a fight. She will come back with her family later on to gather the remaining things, but they were adamant that her parents were going to be present. There were tears and she was very sad, but she completely understood. I'm going to take this time for myself and just try and heal my heart and soul and see where life gives me. I know that I need to work on my personal life communication, as maybe my way of dealing with things in my relationships is the true reason they are train wrecks. As I had stated in the comments for my other post, this makes my third engagement and different rings and still no wedding. I am a fixer and I always think that I can make things better. I definitely need to work on myself and figure out how to better protect myself in the future and make sure that I handle my personal life as well as business, I guess. Again, thank you all for the thoughts and 400+ comments on the other thread. This is just an update for those who were asking how it went. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1. So within 20 minutes you were able to break up with your fiancée and her parents were there to get her. Jesus Christ, that's the fastest engagement breakup I've ever heard of. Op answer. No, I had already discussed my plans with her parents, so she would have support in place. I was unsure how she was going to react and luckily it didn't turn into a meltdown. Redditor 2, dude, stop getting engaged. Be more selective and discerning in your dating and don't settle down too quickly or easily. And stop financially supporting girlfriends. You are asking for people to take advantage of you while also creating unhealthy relationship dynamics. Redditor follow-up. I will add too, that I'd how you operate, but you might be accidentally turning relationships into financial agreements. You take care of the money, they take care of the house and you. Offering not much more than financial support will turn you into nothing but a wallet. Maybe don't get into another relationship until you're ready to be emotionally available, and you stated you don't really offer. Redditor 3. I didn't read your other post, but if this is a real post, you have called off 3 engagements to 3 different people, and have you thought that maybe you might be some of the problem? Redditor follow-up. He addresses that right in the same paragraph where he brought up the 3 engagements. I know that I need to work on my personal life communication, as maybe my way of dealing with things in my relationships is the true reason they are train wrecks. As I had stated in the comments for my other post, this makes my 3rd engagement and different rings and still no wedding. I am a fixer and I always think that I can make things better. I definitely need to work on myself and figure out how to better protect myself in the future and make sure that I handle my personal life as well as business, I guess.